Hi, welcome. I'm gonna wait a couple of seconds because give people a chance to catch up with us being live. And if you're watching on replay, then let us know who's watching and where you're from, and just a few comments about the conversation that we're gonna have would be great. Okay, well, we'll kick off then. So I have great pleasure in introducing Keely Craw again to talk to us about the group that we're doing. And I'm really excited to have this conversation. So welcome, Keely.
Hi, Yanni. It's lovely to see you again.
Thank you. So we've just slightly over a week ago, finished the relationship-based play course that we've been doing, and we really wanted to tell you about it because we're really excited about how it went, and hopefully be interested to hear people's comments and to get involved in the future because some of the things that carers have said have been really, really positive. So probably Keely, could you just give a little bit of a overall about how the course worked, if that's okay?
Yeah, so the course is all about thinking about play and thinking about how parents, foster carers and adopters can use play to strengthen or develop a relationship with their children in their care or in their family. And so we really start just by looking at the importance of play because it's so underrated. And just having a look at that and thinking actually, what is it that play does? It's not just something that's just childish and immature and just something to occupy a child's time. There's a lot going on in play. So we're looking at all of that, the different facets of play, but particularly how play can help to develop and strengthen relationships. And then the course moves on to kind of looking at what happens when children are deficits of play, what happens when they're deficits of having the opportunity to take risks through play, how they will then play that out in other areas of their life where maybe it's not safe or appropriate. And then we moved on to thinking about about child-led play and how we let children lead play. So we're looking at that, and we're also doing it in the context of children who have been looked after and accommodated, because for them play can be different. Their journey through childhood has been different, and that also means that their journey and their experience with play can be different too. So some children don't know how to play, some children play in some very quite different ways, and it's just kind of thinking about play. We use a particular framework to kind of help us to kind of understand where the children are in the play, to kind of make sense of what they're trying to play out. And so once we've got this really good foundation down of what it looks like, what the importance of play, what it looks like, then we move on, after we've really set like a really strong foundation, onto thinking about how then we actually apply relationship-based play. So that happens through having particularly structured sessions 2 or 3 times a week, preferably. And that's the second half of the course, is really thinking about how to kind of set a play session up like that, how to be in those sessions, how to keep them safe in those sessions, how to kind of manage, setting like a framework around those sessions so they feel safe, because no one establishes or develops a relationship if they don't feel safe doing so. And it's the same in this context too. So we're thinking about all the things that can be put in to help a child to kind of feel safe and relaxed, because when they're safe and relaxed, then they're able to kind of use the play to kind of develop that relationship with the parent or the carer. So, we're covering a lot of bases. There's a little bit of theory, but a lot of it is just very practical. We used a lot of breakout rooms because we really wanted it to be an interactive experience. So, and what was really one of the things, there's a lot of things that was very nice about this course. One of the great things actually was, that like Yoni and I make our input, but also the people who've attended the course too have all made their own inputs. And I've learned a lot from that too, and I'm sure Yoni would say the same. But I think also the other members of the group learnt a lot just from sharing their experiences. So we've set something, but there's also quite a collaborative feel. I can't say that properly just now.
Partnership.
A partnership, yeah, like pulling together as like a real team spirit in the groups that we've done so far. And that was just really nice when people can kind of bring their own experience, and then when they've been doing the play sessions, kind of feeding back on that, all the positives that they've got from that, they're learning. It was a chance to say, I did this, I'm not sure how it didn't quite work, or I'm not quite sure what to do here. And so it was really nice just for us all to be able to kind of contribute there as well, to kind of support other members of the group. So, there's a lot of learning. And I think the most important thing about it is that Yoni and I really just tried to keep it simple. So we're not, we're not trying to make like this big kind of, complicated, formulaic kind of approach. It's just sometimes just stripping things back, because sometimes it's just the small things, the small changes that can actually make some of the biggest impacts. And so it should just feel something that, isn't heavy going. There's a lot of learning in it, but it's not going to feel like heavy, like, oh my God, this is like, you have to like wade through all the content. We're trying to keep it fun and light, but with a lot of learning and, takeaway skills too, that aren't just about how you can use play to develop relationships, but also how to kind of just support you in your everyday parenting as well.
Yeah, I think that's the really, really crucial, that it makes a conversation sort of an opportunity to sort of reflect and to just think a little bit more deeply. But as you say, it's not complicated in that way, but it's quite powerful. And I think, certainly we were both quite emotional at the end of the course, because students were so complimentary, and so talking about how the course and what we teach, and what the a change in thinking about parenting had such a profound impact. And I think that blew me away, really.
Yeah, absolutely. It was moving. It was like, hold it back, don't cry on the camera. It was, because we've done this group a few times now, and it's just, the feedback's always really positive, and it's great because, at the end of the day, like Yoni and I, we care deeply, for children, and we want to support the parents because we care deeply for them too, and to see that we were able to kind of offer something that made a real positive change to these parents and carers and to the children, just, it makes my heart sing, and I'm sure Yoni feels the same.
Yeah.
It was just really nice just to see the positive impact that this has made, and it's sustainable as well, because it's not hard. It's something you can incorporate into your own life. And Yoni also does like a section in the course about like how to establish habits, which I've written copious notes on. All I've got to do now is just choose a good habit to establish. There'll be a selection. It's not something that's really difficult. All we're asking of people is like 2 or 3 times a week, just to spend, depends on the age of your child, but say on average about like 20 minutes, just in play with your
mm,
child, and it really does make a difference. And the people on the course could see that, and they could see just how much their children were enjoying that time as well, and what a difference it was making to
mm,
their relationships, and how it was actually building their children's confidence as well,
mm.
and how it was really adding to their well-being.
Yeah, definitely. Um, some of the things that some of the students said, I'd just like to share, obviously anonymous, but with their permission. That they really enjoyed the practical side of the course and learning how to do it, how getting close and playful with your child was really valuable and enjoyable. Um, and also somebody talked about how the course had helped them see that because their children, because they had missed out on so much before, they wouldn't reach the heights that they will be able to unless all the education gaps are plugged. And that's been quite profound for that family. They're going to use that opportunity, the learning that they've learnt in the course, to actually go travelling and do some homeschool with their children, because education has been so contentious and so difficult for those two children who just don't fit into the box that secondary school requires of them. And I guess this course has really opened their eyes to the fact that as an adopter, and I know this wouldn't be an opportunity necessarily possible for foster carers, but it opened up an opportunity to teach them in a very different way, and in a way that was much more aligned to their son's experience and learning styles, rather than the way that school has to sort of create a structure and a system, um, because of the significant numbers of children in classes. So that was really quite staggering, really, how much that had sort of impacted on that family, and hopefully for the better, and certainly in opening up opportunities or other possibilities that perhaps they wouldn't have thought about otherwise.
Mm-hmm. And one of the parents on the course, who was a foster carer, had just said just how just having an understanding too of how important play could be, and just allowing it to be child led. She'd really started incorporating it, and a lot in the day, and it had just kind of maybe changed her parenting style as well. And so people were just really using it, incorporating it in their everyday as well. So
Mm,
um, yeah, the people took an awful lot from the course. Some of them had some quite big shifts because of it.
mm. And I'm just thinking, obviously we're coming out of whichever country you might be in. We're hopefully in the process of coming out of lockdown. Things are opening up a bit, but recognizing that children have lost out on a significant chunk of their learning. And I was interested to see, I think it was the head of Ofsted, saying to parents to use, rather than trying to cram education um, into their children over the summer, to actually use that time to play,
Mm-hmm.
and to spend time learning through play with them, because children have missed out on so much, but that will really be valuable, and not to underestimate how important that is. So I thought that was really confirming all that we're saying, really.
Yeah, there's been a lot, hasn't there, about kind of like the same message. I think was for preschoolers too, wasn't it? I saw something similar. Um, maybe the government's kind of anxiety that children have lost out a lot, and their response to that being like, right, well, we'll just educate them more. But
Yes.
actually, it's been an incredibly stressful time for children and parents, and when they have been educated, it's been hard. And actually, what everyone just needs is just time, just to kind of just relax and play and just take it easy. And just there's so much learning in play, and not just academic learning. There's social play, emotional play,
Mm.
relationship play. There's like learning how to kind of use your body and have a better sense of your body. So it's not all just about the academic stuff.
Mm.
Learning factual things. Play really gives you like a felt sense of something. So that kind of like stays in the body and in the mind more than just learning things through facts. So for children to have that opportunity to play is, over the summer, it's great. But I think what we really need, not just for the summer, is just for people to actually understand just how important play is.
Yeah.
It's not just something whimsical. There's an
Mm.
awful lot going on for children in play, and they're taking a lot from play. And honestly, and so are we. As adults,
Absolutely.
when we get the chance, it's important for us to play. And that's been one of the challenges of the pandemic, is some of the opportunities we had to play, whether that was like to maybe engaging in sports or other hobbies, or just
Mm.
having like social occasions together, going to festivals or whatever it was.
Mm.
We've lost those opportunities to play, and in turn, obviously there's this whole stress of the pandemic and what that means, but it also means that we've not had those kind of safety valves that we normally have that help us to kind of like maintain our
Mm.
well-being.
Mm.
So play is important for adults too, and I think also, Yoni and I've been speaking recently. It's also what we want to kind of bring to this is in the training is a sense of like that often in the journey of becoming like a foster parent or an adopter, it's like reading all the books and making sure you're getting everything technically right, and it can maybe feel quite dogmatic. And what I want to bring to this is this sense that your parenting experience with your children can be fun. You
Mm.
can create a cooperative, flexible, fun relationship together. So and I think that's really helped a lot of the people who have been in the training too, and even some of the people who've been on the training have not yet been placed with children. There was just on the I think they just got through getting through a matching panel, you know, and it just relaxed them so much just to
Mm.
think, oh, right, okay, it doesn't have to be this all singing, all dancing like arts and
Yeah.
crafts extravaganza every day. I don't have to think of like 10 activities every day to kind of occupy my children. It just kind of makes just play a bit more, maybe feel a bit more real and a bit more accessible,
Mm.
and not this big, frightening, daunting thing.
Mm. And I
Mhm.
think a lot of times when professionals are talking about to adopters and foster carers about what they should be doing, they can get into the comfortable space of talking in professional language, using buzzwords that perhaps they know what that means, but actually carers might not.
Mhm.
And so that can really get in the way. And sometimes I think like you say, it disenables people from being able to sort of make their own decisions and be an active parent.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, I think I love the informality of it and the fun nature of the course, I guess.
Yeah, because we had a giggle within it as well, didn't we? So.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I'm gonna, fingers crossed, I'm going to hopefully share some comment one couple Ree and Marcus who were on the course and who got a couple of comments now. Hold your breath and hopefully I can do this. All right.
Oh, is it? Oh, I see myself twice. I'm not sure about that. I can't hear any sound.
Oh. Oh. You didn't hear the sound.
No, the sound didn't come through.
Ah, okay. All right. What I'm going to do then is I will circulate it in the group,
Okay.
right? And then hopefully the sound will come through as well. That's a bit odd. Apologies for that.
Yeah.
But they're very enthusiastic about it.
It was a new technical challenge.
Yeah, absolutely. Failed miserably. Nil point.
Well, you've got the image on the screen.
Yeah, this is true. Okay. Well, I suppose what we also wanted to talk about is sort of if somebody feels like that is going to be something that they would want to be involved in. We are in the process of rolling out another relationship-based play course, which will start on the 14th of September. We're going to have a challenge before that. We didn't want to do it in the summer because we know that adopters and foster carers are really busy and committed over the summer. So get everyone back to school, hopefully, start the term, and then 14th of September, which is Tuesday, we'll have a full, pretty much a full day, but recognizing that we need to start late and finish early for school drop-offs.
Mhm.
And then so we'll have the training, and we'll talk about all the things that we've talked about today. And then on the 5th of October, we'll have a sort of implementation and review day, so that we can check in with students about how they're getting on, give some advice, feedback, and hopefully hear how well students are getting on with it and enjoying it. And then for those who are interested, we'll be able to get further guidance at a later date within a membership. So yeah, I think hopefully people, will be interested in this. It sounds, in some ways, I always think talking about it, it almost sounds like it's too good to be true, but
Mhm.
it's true because it does have even such a limited investment in your time with your child, if it's done in the right way, can make a huge difference to your relationship with your adoptive or foster child. So it's well worth thinking about doing it. Anything else that you want to share before we wrap up, Keely?
Yeah, I was just kind of add to that, Yanni, that it does seem kind of quite like, oh, that seems a bit too good to be true. But I think it's just, I've been a play therapist for about 14 years. So, some of what we're using there is like some of the techniques or the stresses that I would use, or any play therapist, to be honest, would like use in play therapy. And so it's really, setting up play in a way that children respond well to. And I think that's often why it kind of works well, because the children kind of notice the difference. It feels different than often the play that they've been kind of, or the play experiences that they've like had access to before. So I think that's why, the children, oh, this feels a bit different, but like in a good way,
Yeah,
and I think when the adults are getting that kind of positive feedback as well, it's kind of like, it just sets like a wheel in motion there, and that's really what's kind of helping to develop the relationship. And one thing I forgot to add before is one of the section of the course that we cover is also about thinking about how you can develop your own confidence in play, because I think quite often for a lot of us, of like previous generations, play was something that either you just did just to get out of your parents under your parents' feet. So you often just kind of like did it on your own. You
mm,
know, maybe it wasn't valued. Maybe you weren't allowed to play. Maybe you made you feel kind of silly for playing or something. So we can carry our own baggage around about what play is and feeling confident about play, and I think for most adults, when we use words like role play, it just sends like a shiver down our spines, doesn't it? Like, oh, because there is something a bit kind of like exposing about play, that can make us as adults feel uncomfortable because we're not meant to show that kind of side of ourselves anymore because we're the grown-ups. So there's also an exploration of that as well, just to help you to kind of feel more confident in play. But the play that we're asking you to do with your children isn't like going to be like, it's going to be quite personal. It's not going to be like lots of people are going to see it. We're not going to ask you to do stuff online. I'll make that clear. There is no role play
Yeah,
online. We're not
absolutely.
will not expose you to your peers. But I think what we've created is just something that lays just some really good foundations, and then we really help you just to kind of build a structure, and then you can adapt it according to your child's need and to your child's age as well. So like some of the people who have used this course have got really young children. They're like be like 1, 2 years old, going up to like quite high up into like primary school ages. And one lady did have like a 14-year-old, didn't she?
Yeah,
Um, so I would say it mainly kind of like it's probably best for like from really young, like 1 up probably like to like top primary school, maybe into well, I'm in Scotland, so it'd be like S1, which is like about 12. Um,
right.
that would be year 8.
Mm, yeah, yeah, I
Yeah,
think so. Yeah.
to they're about 12. So it's
Mm.
probably like the optimal kind of age range for that. But, if you've got, a child who maybe developmentally, for whatever reason, is much kind of like further back, then it might well be that this course is still relevant and appropriate to you as well.
Mm.
Mm.
That's brilliant, Keely. I'm really excited for the next cohort, and I've loved working with for those students who were on the course and are watching, and we've loved working with you and hope to work with you a lot more in the future. Um, and if you are interested, that's where you'll find out a bit more information, but over the next few weeks, we'll be talking about it a bit more. Um, and thank you for your time, Keely. It's been, as always, lovely to talk to
Oh, yeah.
you.
It's always a pleasure to chat to you, Yoni, especially when we're talking about something like this course, which we've both really enjoyed. Um, at
Yeah.
creating and delivering. So
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. I second that. So take care, and it's lovely to speak to you. Good. Speak to you soon, and thank you for watching.
yeah, thanks. Bye, folks.
Bye.